Yo, what is good, my anime people? What is good, yo? So, thanks to a certain game, my audio completely got destroyed. I think mainly because of the maintenance that they had going on. But I honestly don't care because in this whole anime scheme of talking with you guys and getting to do this with you, I honestly don't see anything stopping me from getting out the content that I want and continuing to drop stuff on days that I want. So, with all that being said, this episode was absolutely needed and kind of weirdly um, placed, if you ask me. Like, there's a whole entire, scenario going on with the voting and just overall how people are um, portraying who could be the next, president or who could be the next head cheese of everything around the place and what that just might lead to. So to see that and to pretty much know that we get a good glimpse at just what the president likes, what would be her ideal situation and what would be her ideal way of gambling, maybe in the sense of just having fun and overall having someone lose because of a thought process that they might take during said game that she picks. So it's a very interesting way of playing just your opponent and playing people who you know, you have to practically know that they'll make those choices. I mean, she honestly wasn't the one playing, so it wasn't that much of a risk to pick this game, including when it came down to now she can see exactly what her secretary, kind of what her thought process is. Not only just that, but if she still works like that under the toughest pressure of losing everything precious to her, does she still think logical? Does she still do everything that you would expect her to do? And seemingly she did. And that was what really drove the president to straight up jump off the ledge. Because seemingly there was a moment where even the president set up a situation where falling off of this place would have killed you. And every door besides the one that this secretary picks is a door that would have killed her. So not only does the president straight up put in a little, you know, um, thing for her opponent to get a victory, but she also put something in there for herself yet again to definitely test the waters of just what, um, you know, what she would be willing to do, or if she lost, what would she do after losing? That's always a huge thing with some people is if you lose, they don't want to admit their loss half the time. They want to count it on something being unfair or count, just any way to get out of it. They usually do something along those lines. So to see her go through with it, straight up jump off the ledge and practically end herself for her overall master, so to speak. It's crazy to know that she was willing to go to those lengths for her. Not to mention that she is a person and she just would have thrown her life away for this woman just because of a bet that she lost that, would have supposedly made it so they couldn't see each other, but it didn't necessarily mean she had to die, and by the way the president plays things, it definitely means she had to die, or the outcome that we get this week, which was very slick in my opinion. In the president's part, it's like the president had a bet, but at the same time, she still gets to keep everything she lost in the bet. And I honestly think that might be the one reason why my gambling waifu doesn't really take the plunge with them, knowing that it's safe, or knowing that if she does jump, it's not going to actually do any real damage. But because of this decision she makes in this moment, and because I think because of we don't get a reasoning behind it, she doesn't explicitly say that, oh, that was unfair, or oh, like, she doesn't give us anything to go off of. It's just she is such a reckless character. She is such a reckless, like, abandoned person when it comes to fun. So to see her know that she could be maybe safe or land down there and not die because even the president and the other girl are alive, she doesn't take that jump, which she might take it next week. I don't know. If she takes the jump next week, I stand corrected, and she's still the crazy girl that I cannot predict. Um, but when it comes down to this, I think that this is the closest thing we have seen to her showing us that whatever comes with the territory of, the gambling and putting it all on the line, that's one thing. But when she's not gambling and she isn't going to have some type of tingling sensation of that winning, that knowing you're the best feeling and stuff like that, it all of a sudden pushes her, not selfishness, but her non-taking risk and all that stuff, mentality all of a sudden out of her, and we start seeing this woman who I feel like we've never seen before. She's all of a sudden not interested in jumping down somewhere that, seemingly could be fun, and even her opponents has done it and seemingly got something out of it, so she doesn't take that jump because it's liable to mess up her not being able to gamble in the future. And that's just my opinion. I don't think that's, exactly how she's thinking or whatever. But if it was me and I was her, I would be thinking of that. Like, all she lives for is to gamble. So why throw away your gambling, uh, you know, likelihood, or just your luck? Some people have superstition that you only have so much luck. By jumping off that and landing and living, that might be a little bit of your luck down the drain. So it's just those types of things that they put in these shows are really fun for me to watch, and I love the reaction that some of these shows can bring out of people, because to be fair, I didn't see her actually, the president, letting this woman go, or like even caring after all was said and done. And next thing you know, she completely proves me wrong. She completely jumps off the ledge, quote unquote, saying that, oh, it was the first time anybody's done it, so I wanted to do it too. Like, what a weird way of saying, oh, I did this for me and not for you. And not to mention, she even set up the jump of death was like rigged to a situation where if she picked the logical thing, which was 5 in the situation, she would live. And knowing that her one like strength is being logical seemed like kind of a cheat, right? So the president is playing very dirty, and I really like it because it's dirty in the sense of no one said it wasn't allowed. No one knew that once you jumped, you weren't gonna die. No one knew that the mats were down there, so it still held the same type of gravity as if, oh my god, he followed me all the way here, as if they, thought it was going to take them out. And that was the really cool part of where they went with it and how it all transpired, not being real, but at the same time feeling like they like they were gonna die until you see the president jump. And I was like, okay, let's be honest, she ain't gonna get her life away like that. Not to mention, she hasn't even gambled with the one person she's been talking about the most. Like, come on, bruh. So it was pretty obvious to me at that point anyway that it should be some type of hoax. But if it wasn't, I would have been freaking out. I would literally be like, okay, well, Rip. um, there goes like not even two competitors, but at least the main competitor for our waifu, and that's over. Like she would have no competition if the president's out, in my opinion. Um, the other thing is the wheelchair freaking leader of the family. She is quite questionable in my opinion. Um, she really runs the other family members seemingly with like an iron fist, and I think that's kind of a tall tale sign of like the president and how she kind of held herself. She doesn't take anything from anyone really, and then because of that, it leads to this discussion of what happens if any of these people get the president's spot, and what would it take for the president to even allow, like, is she gonna do something as crazy as she did this week in a game and risk her life and everything on it, or is she gonna have some weird escape plan to where, um, after the game, she's seemingly giving the person the same position they were just in back to them. She's pretty much offering to become friends, if not the same thing they were before, so it's these types of things that seem so sneaky that she pulls off, but at the same time, nothing explicitly said that it couldn't be done like that. And I think that's where our waifu standing up top kind of learns all that, and she's like, oh man, I got played, like literally this girl just got the upper hand, but that's not, it didn't stop her from having a good time. So that's the big giveaway from this is they both got what they wanted. She wanted to see what it would be like for a logical person to continue to be logical, and for this non-logical person and who we seemingly can't get a hold of in the sense of we can't understand anything she's going to do next. She's just unpredictable. She goes against a logical person, and we now know that she has a way to either win or a way to either lose. And regardless of it, she's going to run with whatever she feels is A, the most fun, and B, going to get her closest to winning slash having fun. And I think that's what really kind of scares most of the characters in this show is not only are you going against somebody who is straight up trying to win, but she's trying to make you both lose something dear to each other for her own amusement. So we are in the end game of the show, episode 10 out of 12, guys, I believe, anyways, just like the last season. But if this season, like, if this dropping of an anime doesn't kind of give you guys the hopes of, shows dropping quicker, then we're pretty screwed. Like, this was one of the quicker and faster ways that we have gotten a season, in my opinion. And because of that, it's nice to know that Netflix, out of all people who is getting all these animes, are killing it at this point. Like, there's at least 3 or 4 animes that they're hosting that they're just doing very well on, in my opinion. And we can go into further detail about that in the comments down below if you really want to know how I feel about those certain animes and stuff. But um, to see this show getting any attention to it and it looking as great as it does every week, not to mention the fact that the characters are all like very, very entertaining when they get the spotlight, or they always have some clever things that they get to throw out, just like the main character. So we're in good hands when it comes down to them using the adaptations seemingly in the right ways. I haven't really seen any complaints of like, oh man, this is a really good manga, but they're not doing it justice with the anime. I never seen anything like that out of reviews or even just out of people making posts and curiosity of what the fandom is looking like. So really good signs for this anime to get a season 3, and really it has to, because I mean they should no way in heck end this whole thing. Not to mention, even if it does end, where does that leave the characters of who wins? You know, like seemingly whoever wins has some big implications to the overall narrative, or at least the overall school in which they are going to be changing, you know, the roles in. Oh, that was awesome! I didn't even know I was in a freaking thing. Oh man, I went in the bush and he didn't see me. That was dope. I'm playing live right now. I play live in all my videos, by the way. I told that to somebody and he really honestly didn't even know until I literally said it. Because I guess just editing a clip of you playing the game is easier, but whatever, guys. Thank you so much for the support. This show has been very, very kind to me, view-wise, but at the same time, guys, I think the only reason why the views have been so nice is because I'm honest about how I feel about this show, and I truly, truly love the main character and how I cannot predict anything about her. I love the president and how she's pretty much pushing our main character to even do wilder things than she probably imagined, like this tower, for instance. So we're in very, very interesting territory with our main waifu actually getting to see a little bit of how the president might play a game, or maybe this is all just a clever ploy to show her something that she might think is easy to exploit and honestly has no way of truly doing that. So with all that being said, guys, I hope you have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case it may be when you watch this. I am the Anime G, and I hope you guys do stick around, subscribe if you are new here, or just drop a like if you wouldn't mind. It greatly helps the channel and getting everything out. And make sure you guys share the video, because hopefully we can get more people to talk about this show. And if we can't get more people to talk about the show, at least we can get our own collective group of people that we know 100% love the show, and we can all see if we notice anything different that someone else maybe might not see. So with all that being said, guys, thank you so much, and peace.